Here are some tips on how to maintain your new water system. The pump pulls the rainwater in from the water tanks and through the 3-stage big blue filter system, which houses 3 cartridges, a 5 micron filter, a carbon block and a 1 micron. The micron filters take out all the fine sediment, whereas the carbon block holds onto any chemicals that might be in the water. The water moves through, but the carbon block holds onto the chemicals. Then it goes through the UV filter, which is a UV light with a glass tube around it. The water moves through the quartz tube on the outside of the glass tube, and the UV light kills all the bacteria as it passes through. Turning off your system. Before you do any maintenance on your system, like fix a leak, or change the filters, or change the UV light, you need to switch off the system and drain the water out. This is how you'll do it. You can close the shut valve on the inlet side of the pump. That's between the tanks and the pump. This will stop water from continually moving from the rainwater tanks through to the pump. Once you've closed the shut valve, open the tap while the pump is still on. Once the tap runs dry, you can close the tap. Then switch off the pump and UV light at the power box. How to change the filters. The filters need changing every 6 months if you are using the system on a regular basis, and the UV filter will have to be changed every 12 months or when faulty. You can visibly check the condition of the filters by taking them out and noting how much dirt has accumulated on the micron filters. To change the filters, close the shut valve on the inlet of the pump. Take the spanner and turn it anti-clockwise to open the blue casing. You can flip the spanner over if you're struggling to get a good grip. Once the casing is off, remove the filter and pour out the water. This is wet work, so do it outside if you can. You can wash the filter off if it still looks in a fair condition and put it back, or use a new filter. Make sure you place them in the right order. 5 micron, then the carbon block, then 1 micron. Put the new filter in. Make sure the middle of the filter slots into the groove at the bottom of the blue casing. Make sure both O-rings are in place at the top of the casing. You can also put some Vaseline on the O-ring to make sure they seal properly. If the blue casing is screwed in at an angle, it will leak. So make sure to hold it straight and upright. You can also wedge something underneath the casing to help you hold it upright. Screw it on and your job is done. You can now open the shut valve, switch the pump and UV filter on at the plugs and open the tap. You will hear the water move through the filters, filling up the system before it runs out of the tap. If you spot any leaks, you might have to tighten the casing slightly more. You can use the black spanner to help you tighten. Or unscrew it and screw it back in, making sure it is not screwed in at an angle. You have to start again by closing the shut valve, switching the pump and UV light off and running the tap dry before attempting to open the casing. Change the UV light. To replace the UV light, you will follow the same procedure. Close the shut valve off at the inlet side of the pump, open the tap to let all the water run out, and then switch the pump and UV light off at the plugs. Pull the rubber cap of the electric cable off the end of the UV light. The UV bulb will be attached to the end of the cable by small pins. Without bending the glass bulb, loosen the connection. Then slide out the UV bulb carefully. Place it in the cardboard tube of the new bulb and throw it away. This way the glass won't hurt anyone when they work with the rubbish. Unwrap the new bulb as you slide it into the tube in the same way the old one went. Do this without touching the glass with your hands because dirt from your hands can affect the bulb. Then plug the metal pins in carefully, line them up correctly before you push them in firmly until the connection is tight. Then push the bulb in so that you can fit the rubber cap back onto the metal end. Switch on the power to the UV filter. If the light on the power box is green, you have installed correctly. If it is red, then switch off the power and try to connect again. If the light is green, you can now open the shut valve on the inlet side of the pump, switch on the pump, and open the tap. Wait for the water to move through the system until it runs through the tap.